Hello and welcome to Spoken Like a Native podcast. My name is Diane. I'm an English teacher from Scotland and a devoted language learner, and this podcast is for those learning English to improve their listening and vocabulary, with episodes on engaging topics like culture, current events, history, and how languages work. If you want to improve your speaking and listening, head over to speakmeters.com, where you can take part in small group conversations hosted by native speakers. This is an amazing way to boost your fluency, expand your vocabulary, and increase your confidence by practicing with qualified, certified, and selected native speakers who really enjoy helping people. There are sessions at a range of levels for English, French, Spanish, and German, so book your first session today. Speakmeters.com. And don't forget, you can take part in this podcast by telling me your ideas for topics. Information about how to get in touch with us is in the description. Enough beating around the bush, let's get this episode underway. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 10. I can't believe that we're at number 10 already. It's amazing. So this time, Sarah has come back to join me again, but we're going to talk less about her and more in general about idioms. Now, if you were listening carefully, you'll notice that at the end of every intro of these podcasts, I say, enough beating around the bush. So to beat around the bush is an idiom. It's a phrase that you can't really translate directly into any other language. And it means, in this case, procrastinating, putting off, starting something. And we have thousands and thousands of these kind of expressions in English. And it's great to learn some of them and to use them because it makes you sound much more native. So let's get started. And today we're going to talk about some idioms related to animals. Okay, so today we're going to talk about some idioms that we use a lot in English. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
And you had a good example to start off with. What was the weather like today?
Well, it was glorious sunshine this morning, and then all of a sudden it started raining cats and dogs.
Oh my God. So there was a poodle coming out of the sky.
Yes, just like that. Can you imagine?
Yeah. So yeah, we use that to mean when it's raining really, really heavily. We use it a lot.
Yes, it's pouring down.
Yeah, absolutely
Or
pouring
even
down.
it's bucketing.
Yeah. It's not raining here where I live.
Lucky you.
Yeah, so I don't have a use for that one. How about okay, let's introduce the next one. We're going to do today, so the theme is kind of animals. Idioms, which are phrases which you can't really translate. They have their own meaning. And the theme of the ones that we've chosen is animals, which was your idea. So the next one is pigs might fly.
Pigs might fly. A good use of a modal verb there.
Yeah. Have you got an example?
Of when pigs might fly?
Yeah.
Oh, well, when something is absolutely impossible, that's when we might use when pigs might fly. So I am going to be sitting at the front of Westminster Abbey on Saturday to watch the coronation.
Wow. Really?
And you might say, and pigs might fly.
Yeah. And pigs might fly, yeah. And my example was I have a dog who's called Alfie. He's still quite young. He's only 1 year old. And he's always grabbing stuff, especially when he wants attention. He'll just grab things out of the washing basket, for example. So you might ask me, has Alfie stopped grabbing things out of the washing basket? And I would say, pigs might fly. That's never going to happen. He's never going to stop doing that kind of thing.
But does he ever lay down and sleep? Is he peaceful ever?
Yeah. He's kind of got he's either excited and being naughty, or he's completely asleep. or he's
So,
kind of looking for something to do. That's
so
his.
when he's completely asleep, would you
Mhm.
say if I came round and started looking like I might bother him, would you say to me, "Oh, let sleeping dogs lie, Sarah"?
Yeah, I might do.
Or would that be the appropriate thing to say?
It would probably be correct, but I don't know if it would be because it's not going to bother him very much, to be honest. So that would be probably better if you started saying something else, like, have you gone back to your old employer to ask about that money they owed you or something? Something from the past.
Oh, let sleeping dogs lie,
Yeah.
Diane.
Yeah, stop bringing up that stuff from the past. We're not going to solve it going back over it again. But yeah.
No,
So when we say let sleeping dogs lie, I mean just leave it alone. It's not actually about a dog. Although
no.
you can kind
That,
of see the logic of it.
yes, but it's more about a tricky situation.
Yeah. There's no use crying over spilt milk. Which is a similar kind of leave something in the past, don't go back to it. Although that's not an animal theme.
No. So if we did spill some milk, you might say, "Huh, you look like the cat that got the cream."
I was trying to think of I don't have an example for that one. Have you got an example?
Well, I just looked like the cat that got the cream because I thought that I was very smart
Hmm.
and I'd managed to, insert in another idiom. And I think, ooh, I'm so clever.
Yeah, when you get something, you manage to do something, or you manage to receive something, you're very happy about it. You're
Just like
like the
a
cat.
cat would be if it had a bowl of cream instead of just a bowl of milk, ordinary milk.
Yeah. Although I think probably the more, to make it more accurate, it's probably better to say like the cat who got some tuna because they do like milk, but I think they would prefer something meaty or something fishy.
Well, you'd know because you've got a cat, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Lucky you.
You don't have any pets then?
I would love to have a pet, but unfortunately, my lifestyle just doesn't give way to such
Because
wonderful things.
is that because you travel a lot, or
It's because I live in an apartment and because
mm,
I travel a lot.
yeah, you could have one of those little, what are they called, lap dogs or handbag dogs.
I could, but they don't let them on the Eurostar.
Oh no.
No,
Hmm.
I've asked.
Hmm. So I just mentioned about something fishy, and one of the idioms that we use sometimes is that smells fishy. So something smells fishy. He told me that he'd finished all his work early, but I think he just wanted to go home early. I saw his colleague doing something his boss had told him to do. So something is a bit fishy. It's a bit strange. How would you
Hmm.
explain that?
Something, it smells a bit fishy. Sounds like it smells wrong, illegal. It sounds like it might be prohibited,
Hmm.
but you are telling me something as if it was right and correct. But I
Mm.
have my suspicions. It
Yeah.
sounds a bit fishy.
Yeah. So when you're suspicious about something, you think, something's it doesn't add up was another phrase, kind of similar idea. You've seen something, you add up together. Well, they say this, but I saw something different, or I've noticed other details, and it doesn't look like it is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
So it smells fishy. So I think that's from, fish starts to smell bad after a while. So it's like the idea of you've left some fish out of the fridge or something.
Just like the milk might smell bad if you spilt some milk, and then we'd all be crying.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never cried over spilt milk. I guess that one probably comes from when people didn't have, like, if you spilled milk, it would be a bit of a disaster because you'd have to go and get more from the cow. It's not so easy to pick up from the shops.
My family have a farm, a dairy farm, and we
Hmm.
used to go round to my grandparents and get the freshly extracted milk, and
Hmm.
we put it in a container and take it back to us back home in the car. And sometimes we would spill the milk because I was only a little girl and it would slip from my fingers.
Mm.
And then the car would stink. And
Yeah,
we
it
were
would
all
smell.
crying. We didn't want to get in the car.
Yeah, I can imagine it would smell. And also it hadn't been pasteurized,
No.
so it would still have all the active kind of bacteria and stuff, which is probably quite good for you, to be honest, nowadays. So what's it like to drink really fresh milk? Did you drink it like that or
Yes,
yeah,
we did.
yeah.
It's for me, it's just normal. So I liked pasteurized milk and fresh milk. The only milk I didn't like was the milk that we used to get from school in the olden days, where you had little bottles of milk that were delivered to the school, and
Hmm.
it was, would it be unpasteurized because the cream always separated,
I'm not
or was it
sure.
unhomogenized?
Probably unhomogenized, yeah. I guess so.
And that was disgusting.
No, I don't think I've ever had milk like that. I thought you were going to say you don't like UHT milk.
Oh,
But
is that real milk?
yeah.
No, but I love nut milks.
Mm. Yeah, me too. I don't really drink, I occasionally drink milk, but most of the time I have soya or almond milk. It's tasty.
In fact, a friend of mine set up a company called Rude Health, and they produce all of these fabulous non-dairy milks.
Hmm.
She's so clever,
Nice.
and once she invented that, I'd say she had the bee's knees.
Mm.
Well,
It's,
she
yeah.
was the bee's
She's the
knees.
bee's knee. Yeah, you managed to do that all by yourself. I think you're the bee's knees.
Yes.
Yeah. Or
The
it's
bees
great.
even have knees.
I don't know. I think probably they have quite a lot of knees because they have lots of legs. But I don't know if they're really knees in the same way. So the bee's knees, I think it's probably like that just because it rhymes. It sounds good.
Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's some apps that I use for language learning. I'd say it's definitely the bee's knees because I can use it when I'm out of the house, when I'm waiting for something, or if I'm in bed, or I can use it online. It's the best thing since sliced bread, or it's the bee's knees, which is kind of the same thing.
Oh, that is a perfect example. Well done.
Thank you. And yeah, I think that alternative to dairy milks are the bee's knees, although sometimes they can be a bit expensive, and you think, is it worth it if it's mostly water? But it's definitely nice to have something different in your cappuccino if you go somewhere. But in Spain, it's very difficult. If you can buy them from the shop, like soy milk, oat milk. You can buy them from the shop, but if you go to a cafe, especially in the small towns, they don't have them. So that gets me on to my next one, which is if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, heaven
Mm.
forbid, in Spain, you're a bit of a black sheep. If you
Ooh.
go to a restaurant and you're a vegan or a vegetarian, it's a bit tricky for you to find something. They say, "Oh, would you like a green salad? Would you like some chips?"
I've heard black sheep being used most when they're talking about a member of the family who's the
Hmm.
black sheep of the family.
Yeah. Are you a black sheep of your family?
No,
No?
no, no, no.
Do you think there is a black sheep in your family?
Now, I don't think I should say who the black sheep is, or I may not be welcome at family do.
So yeah, you can get from that that it's not something. I don't think we say it as much as probably we used to. We used to use it more. Most people are accepted nowadays for being different. But in the past, it would be someone who acted in a different way from everybody else, did something maybe bad or maybe just different. You would be the black sheep.
The one that didn't follow the rules.
Yeah, not going along with the crowd, maybe didn't get married or wanted to study something completely different from what their parents wanted them to do. Like a family could have a family business, and then one of the children says, "No, I'm going to be an artist, and I'm going to live with my same-sex partner." They would probably be in the past. They would have been a black sheep.
Or maybe both of us could be the black sheeps of our families because we're not living back home.
Yeah, I could. It could be. Yeah, my family have often lived in different countries, but yeah. Is it? How about your family? Is there anybody else who's living away from England?
Well, only the husband, my father, that my mother divorced and sent back to
Oh,
Australia.
Australia. Yeah. Okay. Was he became a bit of a black sheep, did he?
In her eyes,
In
but
her eyes, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you can imagine a big flock of sheep, the collective noun for a big group of sheep. There's a big flock of sheep, and there's one black one.
I was just looking when we were talking about pigs might fly, I was looking at things related to pigs.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've got pig headed,
Mm-hmm.
the whole hog.
Mm.
And then I looked at where did these come from? And I read about a pig pile. Have you heard of pig pile?
Pig pile. It rings a very vague bell, but I wouldn't be able to.
Well,
What?
it's a game, a pig pile, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also a verb and a noun. So
Mm-hmm.
noun a pig pile and to pig pile would be to do things something in a disorderly fashion.
Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense.
Well, I was looking at idioms, English idioms, and whilst we may think that England has a lot of idioms, they are, and it's true, we have about 25 million idioms.
Really?
It makes my
That's a lot.
brain want to explode.
Yeah. When you think about, oh, a student asks me to teach idioms, you think, where do I start?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But France and French, they've got a lot of idioms.
Mm. Hmm.
And what about Spain? I don't know. Spanish,
I'm
no.
there definitely are, but I don't know the number of them. But
I
yeah,
was
there's a lot related to like bodily functions.
I was talking to my husband yesterday about us talking about idioms, and he said,
Hmm.
I hate idioms. I never use idioms. I
What?
said, well, you know what they mean. He said, yes, but I never use them. And I was
Mm.
like, but it's part of being fluent, is
But
that you
he's
understand them.
British, isn't he?
He's British.
He says he does. I don't believe him.
Yes, I know, but he said, I received, when I did my master's degree, my professor wrote me a note saying this was a very well written thesis. I said, he said, I didn't use any idioms. I said, who would use idioms if they're doing a master's degree in international competition
Yeah.
law? That's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
really, we do use them. And I believe that someone who is a good speaker of a second language, your second language being English, you will go from being a good speaker to a great speaker, because you will really need to understand what we're talking about when we use these idioms.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And if you can, I think the first step is to understand them, and the second step is to be able to use them correctly. Because often you get people using them, but not quite in the right meaning.
Oh no, did you not trick your husband by telling them the
Oh,
wrong
yeah,
thing?
yeah. Yeah. Well, his level is quite good, so he knows. And also, I'm a terrible liar. When I'm trying to make fun of someone, I just start laughing. So it's I don't do it for very long, but I have occasionally said, "Oh yeah, in English we say," and I just make something up completely. But yeah, I'm always laughing when I do it, so he can tell. Yeah. Like it's a different topic. We were just saying a minute ago. I said to him like, you, okay, in English we say your flies are down. Um, but in Spanish you just literally say your zip is low, or something like that if you translate it. But we have a quick shortcut. Your flies are down. Like
Yes.
your zip on your trousers that you put down to go to the toilet. You, for some reason, it falls down, and we say your flies, or if your flies are down, your flies are undone, and it's quick, economical, like a shortcut. But in Spanish, that you have to say a longer. You have to use a lot more syllables. And I think with idioms, it's a similar thing. It's a shortcut.
Goodness,
But
I would love to be on a fly on the wall when you tried out these things with your husband.
yeah, it's quite funny because he's very open to learning new things, and and I'm always correcting him. We do one day in English and then one day in Spanish, and we go like exchanging from one day to another, and we're always correcting each other. So I'm always correcting him. So he's used to me saying like, "Oh no, it's not this, it's this." Um, Often with the same thing, you have to repeat many times. Like all of us have to repeat correct a mistake many times. I can't remember any ones I've actually tricked him into. But yeah, being a fly on the wall. I think sometimes when I watch a film or I see a trailer for a film, which I think looks really stupid, I think I would love to be a fly on the wall in the production meeting for that film. Seems like such a silly idea. So you want to know what's going on. How did they come to that decision, or what happened there? You might, if you see a couple who really don't seem to have anything to talk about as a couple, and then you think, oh, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their living room and see what they talk about on their own.
If they talk at all, you just
Yeah,
you might die of boredom.
yeah, they might just put the TV on. Yeah, and I don't know if they still call them. There's a type of documentary called the Fly on the Wall documentary or
Yes.
program. Did
No,
you
they
ever watch
still
those?
exist. Yes.
Yeah. Do you like those kind of programs?
Love them.
Yeah. Like also there would be hidden camera shows as well. This is kind of similar to the fly on the wall. So yeah, a little fly can watch and see what's going on. But I'm sure that a fly doesn't care what we're doing, what the
Yes.
humans are doing.
I mean, those Ant and Deck shows, I can't remember if it's Saturday Night Takeaway or whatever they're doing. They often have funny pranks that they pull, and they hide their cameras
Hmm.
somewhere where the poor person doesn't realize that they are being tricked
Yeah.
in whatever is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. The
Was
hidden
that Candid
cameras.
Camera or something like that as well?
Sorry?
There was a show called Candid Camera.
Candid camera. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That became, I think still do those kind of programs now, but it was a big explosion maybe in like the 90s and then onwards. So many programs where you don't know you're being filmed and they do
Mm.
some kind of trick, some kind of prank on you. But you could also do a fly on the wall documentary where they know they're being filmed, but they're just following, I don't know, doctors, nurses, or police, or whoever they want to follow, and film everything that happens. I'm sure they do still edit things afterwards, though. I don't know.
They must.
Yeah.
That way they can get the best bits, the juiciest bits.
Yeah. And I'm just getting back to your you mentioned that you might one day go to Westminster Abbey.
Yes.
Do you think you would have butterflies in your stomach?
I certainly would.
How,
Would I have butterflies in my stomach then? I think I would. I had butterflies in my stomach most last week
hmm
when I had to give an interview in French.
Okay. How
And
did
I
it
had
go?
told them that I was fluent in French.
Mm,
I am not.
yeah. Yeah. It's always nice when you're applying for jobs and you put like high level Spanish, high level, whatever languages you want to put, and then you think, oh, that looks good, and then they say, oh, let's do the interview in French or in Spanish, and you think, uh-oh,
I
now it's a real test.
Yes, it was a real test, but I was very happy at the end when she said that, oh, it's evident that you are bilingual. It's like,
Oh.
oh, yes, merci beaucoup.
You're thinking it wasn't evident to me.
No,
Yeah, so you would have had quite a lot of butterflies. Did
definitely.
you, how long do you feel you had the butterflies? Do you usually feel like the day before or just the same day of
The
an
same
event?
day in the say in the court the 15 minutes before you're due to kick off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, it's happening, it's going to happen. Oh, what am I going to say? What's going to happen? Is it going to be successful or not?
yeah. So it's a feeling of nervous, excited energy. And usually, yeah, it doesn't start until you can't do anything. You can't do any more preparation. You can't change anything. And now you're just waiting for it to start. Like you're going to go up on stage to perform or give a big presentation or something like that.
I like
You would
the
have,
idea of all of these animals invading our bodies.
yeah.
You know, when I was young, I couldn't sit still.
hmm
My mum used to say to me, "Have you got ants in your pants?"
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can. That one's very. It's very good description. Because butterflies in your stomach, you think probably would feel a lot worse than than the kind of anxiety feeling. But
Yeah.
ants in your pants, it does feel like that. Like you can't, you just kind of itchy, sort of not able to relax, sort of feeling, agitation.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think also butterflies in your stomach can also be for if you're in love or falling in love, you're kind of infatuated, and you're going for the first date or the second date with someone. You can
Oh
feel
yes,
that.
it's excitement.
Yeah. So it's a kind of, yeah, overflowing, nervous excitement. And it can kind of be good and bad, that feeling, especially in a romantic sense. It's very overpowering, but it's in a positive context. But then I think you feel it because there's like you're losing control in some way.
Oh, to
Going,
have butterflies in my stomach again. Such a great reason.
yeah, for a romantic reason, yeah, it's difficult to. It's like one of those things that you can't organize it to happen.
Yes, you can't go click
Yeah,
and it
it's
happens. No.
no.
Hmm.
I wonder if there should be another idiom for like when you're settled in a relationship and you're happy. There should be another.
I bet there is, but it just hasn't sprung to mind.
Snails on the brain. No. Um, I'm sure. Does French have any idioms with snails or frogs? Because they have frogs' legs and
Now, I know I've said that I speak it fluently,
yeah, you
but
don't know all the idioms.
no, I can only remember the French idiom "j'ai la pêche," and pêche being a peach.
Uh-huh.
And I sometimes joke and I say to people, "Oh, j'ai la banane," or something like that, because of course that would be wrong, and that
What does j'ai la pêche mean?
it means I'm feeling great.
Ah, okay.
I'm I'm in on good form.
Ah, so it's like it's peachy.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
everything's peachy. Don't use that so much in Britain, but in the US, I think they use that.
Hmm.
Getting back onto our animals,
Yes.
a dark horse. He's a dark horse.
Yeah.
I never knew that he had millions in the bank.
Ah, the fact that he has really got my goat.
Well, because he didn't give you any.
Yes.
Have you ever had a situation where you thought, oh, that's he or she is a dark horse?
Well, I have when I discover that they are talented or they have
Mm-hmm.
a hidden talent. I might
Mm-hmm.
say they're a dark horse.
Yeah. Yeah, like someone who doesn't seem to have any friends at work or very quiet and seems quite shy. And then you have a work party and they're on the stage doing karaoke and they're amazing. Something that they reveal a hidden side of themselves. Or you don't know that they speak another language and suddenly you hear them speaking fluently in Chinese or something. Like, oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah. So when you're you say someone is a dark horse, they've, it's, you didn't know that they had something special.
No. If they and they hadn't told you, and those kind of things, you might need to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Though I am slam dunking with another
Yeah.
animal idiom.
Yeah. And it wouldn't, you could say, a little bird told me, and then a little bird told me that there's going to be a party on Saturday. Oh, really? I heard it from the horse's mouth.
Haha,
Um,
dear.
yeah. Are you a dark horse?
No, I'm not
No.
a dark horse. I wear my talents. I'm so boastful about what I can and can't do.
Hmm.
No, I'm not a dark horse. There's nothing hidden.
You're more of a peacock.
Ah, yes, I am a bit more of a peacock. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So peacocking is showing off your talents. Or it could also,
Boasting.
yeah, boasting. And also maybe like wearing fancy clothes that draw attention as at the same time as sort of boasting. That would be peacocking. I'm intrigued by this idea that your husband doesn't use any idioms. I think
No,
you
he
should
thinks
pay attention and see if you can catch.
oh yes, he thinks they're stupid, but they're not stupid at all. I think they're wonderful. They really bring, color and imagination into a language.
Yeah, it's like it tells you sometimes you learn something about history if you go and look up the meaning of something, which is interesting and it gives you the perspective. And yeah, just they're very imaginative. You have an image in your head of what the person is trying to say.
No, I did that yesterday when we were talking about having this conversation today. I looked up pigs might fly and the root. Where did this saying come from?
Hmm.
Apparently, it's from an old Scottish proverb
Oh, okay.
from the 1600s.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to do with like pigs and horses, and cows, and things like that.
And
Because
dogs.
Yeah,
Go
dogs,
to the
yeah.
dogs.
Sorry?
To go to the dogs.
Yeah,
It's gone to the dogs.
yeah. It's really gone to the dogs. Have you been down the town centre recently? It's really gone to the dogs. It's gone bad. It's not as good as it used to be. So to deteriorate. But yeah, there's lots of ones which are sort of farm animal, domestic animals. Unfortunately, at that point, I lost the last couple of minutes of our conversation. However, I think we managed to get through quite a few idioms, and I hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for listening. Big thanks to Sarah for helping me, giving some really good examples. And yeah, as she was saying, the part that kind of got cut off at the end was that if you can manage to use a few idioms correctly when you're speaking, and of course if you can understand them as well, it really gives an extra finesse to your English. It really helps to improve how fluent, how competent, how comfortable you sound, how natural you sound, because it's more in the way that native speakers speak. We use a lot of idioms, and just get used to using them every now and again. Make sure you understand the meaning, but have a go. I hope you manage to get butterflies in your stomach at some point for something positive soon. Maybe going on a theme park ride, or going on holiday, or receiving a prize, or something great like that, or meeting a new partner. And if you see something which you think is completely impossible that you're talking about, then you can use pigs might fly. If you want to know what's going on somewhere, you could say, I wish I was a fly on the wall in that place. So thank you for listening, and next time we will have a bit of a sample from what it's like to be part of Speak Meters. I'm going to show you inside one of my English sessions. So look forward to that. And you can come and join sessions with me on Fridays at Speak Meters if you join up. And also with Sarah. I'm not sure which day she does her session, but she does a regular session there in English as well. And if you want to help with whichever language is your native language, there's always space for you. We're hoping to keep on growing the community. Thanks for listening. What do you think about today's topic? Remember, you can get in touch by leaving a comment or by joining the Speak Meters community. Follow Speak Meters on Instagram and subscribe to Spoken Like a Native on your favourite podcast platform. You can also leave a comment and like the stream. Please, please, please leave a review. It really helps us to find new listeners who are looking for fun language learning content. And lastly, don't forget to head over to speakmeters.com to take part in live conversations hosted by friendly native speakers. That's all for today. Catch you next time. Bye!